Usyk guy is talented. He's so talented. He's so small for a heavyweight.
The point is if you box with that boxer, you will lose. He is the best.
Winning an Olympic gold medal, clearing out cruiserweight, and now becoming the guy at heavyweight.
Usyk again.
Yeah. Oh, man.
That's a tough fight.
Yeah.
That Usyk guy is talented. He's so talented. He's so small for a heavyweight too. He's nonstop movement and his footwork and everything. It's so different than anybody else. Joshua didn't know what to do with him. He's like, where is this guy going to be when I'm throwing punches? He was moving all over.
User guy is talented, he's so small for a heavyweight. The point is if you box with that boxer you will lose. He is the best, winning Olympic gold medal, clearing out cruiserweight, and now becoming the guy at heavyweight. Joe Rogan applauded Oleksandr Usyk's victory over Tyson Fury, calling him the best ever. He also voiced concerns that Fury's previous fights might have affected his ability to bounce back. Usyk again. Oh man, it's a tough fight. Yeah, that Usyk guy is talented. He's so talented, he's so small for a heavyweight too. He's non-stop movement and his footwork and everything. It's so different than anybody else. Joshua didn't know what to do with him. He's like, where is this guy going to be when I'm throwing punches? He was moving all over. The Joe Rogan referred to Oleksandr Usyk as a phenomenal fighter, highlighting his exceptional footwork and technique. He praised Usyk skill and outmaneuvering opponents in the heavy division. So when you have an elite athlete like Joshua is like fast and knockout power, he can excel without having the kind of technique that I got. Like Lomachenko and Usyk were trained by the same guy. They were both trained by Lomachenko's father, so they both have extreme technique. And then you have Bivol and Bitter Beef that just fought, same thing, both like super Soviet style boxing. And you go, whoa, like this is technique, like really high level technique. But it's rare that someone with that kind of technique gets into the heavyweight division, and that's why Fury is just a. Experts agree that Oleksandr Usyk's skill and technique make him a tough opponent. Joe Rogan stated, if you're going to fight Usyk you're going to lose because he is the best. However, some fans, particularly Tyson Fury supporters, have a hard time accepting Usyk's dominance. First thing I've got to say is, why did Tyson Fury lose this? Well, I said in my prediction there is only one way to beat Oleksandr Usyk. I've been saying the same thing ahead of Anthony Joshua's fights with him, ahead of everyone's fights with him. You've got to fight a kill or be killed fight, and even then it's not a guaranteed way to beat him. Like, it doesn't mean if you fight kill or be killed you're going to win, but the point is if you box with that boxer you will lose. He is the best at that. I said in that first fight Tyson Fury had good energy and a good moment up to round 7. And at that point his energy started to go, his punch became less effective and he was less of a threat. So you need to come into this fight and go in for the kill within those rounds, or you're going to lose, man, guaranteed. And I'm not saying like, oh, stick it on him, like as if it's like that simple. You've obviously got to do it, responsibly, cleverly, but you've got to force the issue, because this man, he understands the laws of boxing too well. You've got to break the rules in order to beat him, and that requires you to do unorthodox things, to do unpredictable things, and when you do, clip them empty the gas tank and go after him with every last drop of energy you've got. You've got to race him instead of staying with him, cause when you try and stay with him you have to play by the rules, and when you do that, Eddie Atlas praised Oleksandr Usyk for his adaptability and ability to change strategies during a fight. He called YK one of boxing's elite and asked who is going to beat Oleksandr Usyk. Movement is so damn good. Nice. Alright, one thing I love about Usyk, he gets right on his opponent. Usyk answered it, he goes, I'm ready, you're your Eleni Turkey, please make this matchup right. And I love that you can tell he's an athlete who just wants to prove that he's the best, right? There is no showboating, there is no trash talking. He's like, yes, we can do it, well, we will fight again. And I think after he beats Daniel Dubois, he's already beat Daniel Dubas, he's already beat Anthony Joshua twice, he's already beat Tyson Fury twice. If he beats Daniel Dubois twice, there's nothing left for this man to prove in boxing. I think this man lays the gloves down, walks away from the sport of boxing, spend time with his children, his wife. He mentioning his kids are in judo, and I think it'll be awesome for him to be able to walk away from the show up the winner, the guy named Ower, who always finds, because he doesn't let it get away from him, because he knew that if he let another round go like that it could get away from him, the momentum start to flow that way. So what Does he do in the 6th round? He comes out and dominates the round. He comes out and takes control. And what does he do for the next 5 rounds? Whatever, at least on my scorecard and maybe on the judges. I didn't see their score, but for the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th round, 5 rounds in all, I give it to him. Last question for you, one word answer. It's an easy one. Will anyone in this era beat Oleksandr Usyk? Yes or no? There's one guy out there, experts like Spencer Oliver and John Rawling admire Oleksandr Usyk for his discipline, humility and dedication. They praise him as an inspiration to athletes in all sports and a true champion both in and out of the ring, man of his work, but he's also is a superstar of what he does inside and outside the ring. We know what's going on in Ukraine and what he stands for, and that passion, that emotion comes with him inside the ring, and we see that in his performances. Like he's a guy, an incredible guy that you get to round 9 and you think now that they're starting to feel it here, the psychological battle coming in, they're blowing a gasket, fatigue setting in, but he's a guy that's got the ability to be able to turn a screw and turn it on in those last championship rounds, and that is the difference between him and the others actually within the context of a fight, isn't he? He knows when to put the pressure on. He reads a fight so well, and if it's close he's going to find that little extra gear, John. It's that last 30 seconds of each round when the round's close and you're thinking, which way is this going to go here? Cause it was seizing all the time in and there. He's got the ability to that last 30 seconds to switch it on, put those combinations together, and that's the eye-catching stuff, the stuff that stays in the judge's mind, and they're the ones where them swing rounds, or they were quite close. That was what was getting him the rounds, that was just enough. So he might land a couple of big right hands or a little combination, and that sticks with the judge, and I think that's the way people in boxing make around him. And then there is just the wrecking ball that is Oleksandr Usyk, and he shred those plans and never let them come to fruition today with a very, very, very good performance, an elite performance if ever there was one. I said this during the middle of the broadcast, and I'm going to repeat it here for folks who might be just joining us at the moment, which is that if there was something that really kind of signify the strength of Mayweather in his prime, or at the end of his prime, certainly at a bare minimum, if you didn't get enough rounds to win in the first 6, you're going to be in the latter half of that bout. You got the first 6 rounds to do something, and if you don't really get it going there, it's curtains for you. And Usyk has exactly that same kind of gene. Usyk isn't just good down the stretch when he needs to be. Usyk is clutch. There have been multiple times at cruiserweight against some of his toughest foes, Breus and others in that Super 6 series, and certainly at heavyweight as well. There's been Rat Sports journalist Luke Thomas praised us recent performance as very light, highlighting his thorough preparation and flawless execution. Usyk's dominance shut down critics who doubted his ability to stay at the top. Interesting part about this one is for clutches he is, and of course he came through here again yet today in just the most remarkable of fashion. He didn't really have to rescue any part of this. He was never, it seemed like, super down at any point. It was closely contested in my view. Whatever the AI judge was doing, it was still obviously, it felt a little bit pins and needles in big parts of it, but I just really want to take a moment to appreciate a guy undefeated and has achieved essentially at the highest level everywhere he has gone. He has done, winning Olympic gold medal, clearing out cruiserweight, and now becoming the guy at heavyweight of his generation. 2 times against Joshua, 2 times against Fury. It drove me crazy, but Oleksandr Usyk is a stud. That dude is so difficult to fight. He's got great movement, and this is, when we talk about it, he's faster, he's elusive, so Tyson misses a lot of shots on him, which only makes him tired. Tyson was too big, carrying too much weight. I'll give him credit, he actually performed better. When I looked at him at the weigh-in and he kept his jacket on, I was like, dude, you're telling me something. Why you spend 3 months away if you weren't going to get yourself in TI? He was in good shape. That's what it seemed like to me. I just looked at it, and his corner, I would turn on the sound when the round ended to see what his corner would say and stuff, and they were telling him, kind of the right stuff, but they were kind of trying to cheerlead him. They were cheerleading him, trying to get him going and stuff. And it was like, yeah, you're just not the guy that's going to end up beating Usyk. That's your number, and he understands how to stand in front of you when you throw. He usually starts it. He knows your counter, and then he's countering your counter, and he's landing, and he landed at a much better percentage. He landed more shots. He easily won the fight. I didn't. Oleksandr Usyk's accomplishments include an Olympic gold medal, unified cruiserweight